part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for tuning into the latest edition of the Sabol Brothers on the Baseline Podcast, all part of the Press Play Podcast Network. I'm John Sabol.
And I'm Scott Sabol. So we're doing something a little different today, all right? It was just a little while ago, we decided, and it took some planning, to go to Cavs Media Day. You know, what a better place to talk to players, current players, than to be right there when the players come out and they're doing all the the pictures and all that sort of thing. And so that's what we did. We recorded this podcast a little while ago, and we got some great interviews, some players that have some interesting takes on what they're up to. And it was just something a little different, John.
Absolutely. It was fun because it's one-on-one. You know, it's not at a media scrum. It's not at a podium. These are guys on the team that we're intimate with in terms of just trying to understand the ins and outs of what they did in the offseason, what's going on with this Cavs season. But also it's three guys sitting around talking, kind of like how you fans listen to or you're listening to this or just watching a game, having a beer with a buddy or something like that.
Right. And we're not on Zoom, which is always important too.
Yeah, it's in person. It was fun. And without further ado, here is our Cavs Media Day interviews.
First up is forward Lamar Stevens. So, Lamar, we're at Media Day here. Yeah. It's a little different feeling past. Yeah. Roster's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
What was your first impression when you heard the news?
It was just, we got a lot better, I feel like. And, adding a talent like Donovan, I think it takes us to the next level. So, I'm just excited about the opportunity we have this year.
When you look back at that moment, where were you exactly when you found out? Did you get an alert on your phone?
Yeah, I got an alert on my phone. I was in a meeting, and I couldn't check my phone or anything. So it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know if I was involved at first. But it was cool to know that I get the opportunity to play with a talent like that.
How do you guys manage expectations with the trade?
Yeah.
I mean, you were here last year. You've kind of grown accustomed to everybody, but knowing what you guys have now, the target's there.
Yeah.
It wasn't there last year, but now it is.
It's definitely there, and I think it's just us coming in and being ready to work every day. Just focusing on what we can control, pushing each other in practice, and really just taking our reps and practice reps to the next level so we're ready when the game comes.
What kind of feel with all the players that you now have? You guys have a young group, but is there there's almost like a sense of there's a veteran component to this too, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely feel that, with K-Love and Ricky and Rolo, and even Raul, Neto, those guys in the locker room, they balance us out with their experience, and they keep us sharp. So I think we have a really good balance of young guys and veteran players.
So, in your off time, for fans that don't know, what does Lamar Stevens do when he's off the court?
Play the game, watch TV, and I just like to hang out. Normally, if I'm not just in the house, I'm in the gym or getting some food. So I'm really a low-key guy. I just like to stay, in my own space.
I know Scott was wondering too. What were you thinking? Favorite movies, favorite stuff?
Streaming, yeah. What do you like to watch?
Recently, I've been watching this Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix.
That looks real creepy.
Yeah, it's really creepy. Yeah. It's kind of been having me scared at night, but it's good though. I've been watching that. I watch a lot of Power, something on Stars. Yeah.
Sure. Something else you can take your mind off the game every once in a while. You got to kind of disconnect and then you can reconnect when you need to.
Absolutely.
Are you a big scary movie? Is creepy? No,
not really. I like Criminal Minds and stuff like that, but I don't like scary movies. I like real stuff.
So then, how you get into the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary if you're not into that?
Well, because I don't like horror stuff, like scary movies where just stuff is randomly popping out, but history and things that really happened, I'm interested in.
Yeah. Considering that he was in high school here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Wait till you get into it. Yeah.
No, I will.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But
it's crazy.
It was down in Bath, right?
It was. Yeah, he lived in Bath back in the 70s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Before we let you go, I know you're making the rounds here at Media Day here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. JB just said, and Kobe Altman also said that they're not putting a ceiling on you guys. It's not contention or bust. It's just something to build.
Right.
Does that kind of, take away some of the pressure?
Yeah, I think so. But at the end of the day, we want to know as players and coaches what we want to accomplish. So, even though we may not say it, I think that's still a goal for us. And that's somewhere we want to be, and we want to be closer than we were last year. So it definitely lifts the pressure knowing that they're not, putting that pressure on us. But at the end of the day, we're competitors, and we want to be the best. So that's what we're aiming for.
Well, we're rooting for you. Lamar Stevens, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you very much.
We'll have more on Cavs Media Day coming up right after this.
Hey everybody, it's Sam Amico from Cavs on the Break NBA podcast. Be sure to give us a listen for all your Cleveland Cavaliers recaps, analysis, breakdowns, draft talk, free agency. The list goes on and on. Give us a listen, Cavs on the Break NBA podcast.
What's up, everyone? Chase Smith here, host of the Chase Smith podcast, and my podcast reflects who I am. My hobbies, my interests, my passions, my curiosities, my careers, my questions, and my family. I'll spend time talking about all types of sports, movies, TV shows, trending news stories, and other cultural events, and even faith. This is who I am, and I hope I can get to know you as well. Join me on the Chase Smith podcast, and let's have some thought-provoking conversations, only on the Press Play Podcast Network.
The R&R podcast going to be rocking and rolling with you because football season is underway. College, Ohio State, the Power Fives, the MAC, the Browns. Michael Regai, are you ready to rock and roll with some football?
Kenny, I've been ready. This is our time of year. This is what R&R is all about. We're going to be with you every week. Kenny just said it, Browns, NFL, Ohio State centric. So you got to stay with us all fall and winter long here on R&R.
That's right. The Regai and Rhoda podcast coming to you here on the Press Play Podcast Network. Subscribe now and don't miss a show.
Scott and I are graced with Isaac Okoro. Isaac, a lot has changed since the end of the season. First off, how was your offseason?
Offseason was great, man. Put in a lot of work, as always. Had fun with my friends and family. Had a good time, but now I'm ready to get back to work.
You look bigger.
Yeah, for sure. Put in some work. Put in some pounds. Always. Yeah, always.
How much weight you put on?
About like 10.
10? Yeah, you look like you put on 10.
Yeah. So we're working out real quick because I got to ask this. So you work out throughout the offseason. Do you take like a 2 or 3 week break before the season, or do you just go right up until and you just boom all the way through?
All the way, right after the season. That's when I take my time to hang with my family, friends, take vacations.
And it's all business.
It's all business after that.
Yeah. So a lot has changed since then. Roster's retooled a little bit here. Donovan Mitchell, where were you when you found out that trade went down?
I was taking a nap. I was taking a nap and I woke up, my phone was blowing up. So it was great to see that happen. Donovan is a great player, all-star caliber player. He's gonna do a lot of great things for this team.
And a team like the Cavs, which making a move like that, that means they're all in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big deal.
Chemistry-wise, have you been working out with them too, like in the offseason a little bit here and there? Have you been hanging out with them a little bit?
Yeah, me and him, we go to the gym late sometimes. So he's been there before me sometimes, and it just help rebound for him. Just slight conversations.
It seems like though with these workouts and just being around each other, you can never start your chemistry too early, And it seems like he's been around with you guys a lot, which seems like it's just going to pay off down the road.
Yeah, and one thing to make it easier that he's young too. So we got a young group. Everybody here kind of acts young too. So he basically just fits in.
Yeah. Target on your back this year again. Last year wasn't there. Came up later in the year. How do you manage those expectations?
We just do the same thing we did last year. Just come into every game, playing hard, playing like we're the underdogs, and we keep getting wins.
Isaac, we appreciate the time, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
From Isaac Okoro, we bring in Cedi Osman. Scott,
Cedi, you've been here a long time. I mean, you've seen a lot of change. You've played, I think I counted like 300 some odd games with the Cavs. Man, go take us back 5 years, 6 years ago when you were on the team. How was the feeling like then compared to what it is right now?
I mean, obviously my rookie year was a different year than the whole other years that I've been part of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously my rookie year was a great experience for me because we went to the NBA Finals. We had a different team. We had a team that LeBron James was part of. Like in the beginning of the season, like we had Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas. I mean, we had such a great players in the team. So it was a great experience for myself. But then after making the NBA playoffs, obviously we went to rebuilding, and it took us some time to get here. But when you look at the end of the day, I think that we did a very good job in terms of rebuilding, and now we're back in the competition for the playoffs. And I think that we have showed with the way we played last year. Even if we didn't make the playoffs, I think that we have showed to everybody what we're capable of. So that's why I think that this year is going to be a very important.
How do you channel the expectations? Because you're not going to sneak up on anybody this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, especially with addition of the D Mitch, I think that it's going to be everybody's expectations going to be even higher. But I think that if we keep playing the same basketball that we played last year, I think that we're not going to have any issues, especially with Donovan Mitchell. We're an even better team right now. So we can only improve, and I'm really excited what season got for us. So hopefully we'll be in the playoffs this year.
So you've been in the league for 5 years. This will be, your sixth season. Yeah. Now, being a veteran, do you put any more responsibility on yourself to be a leader?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Because I think, after Kevin, I'm the longest. I'm the longest here in Cleveland. It's been going to be my 6th year. So obviously, in terms of leadership, it's going to be really important just to be vocal on the court, off the court, to hold everybody accountable. And I'll be really happy to do that. And because we have a great team, young team that is hungry to learn, to get better. So that's why I'll always be there to help.
Cedi, did you do anything exciting over the summer in the off season?
Yeah,
I know you played in EuroLeague, right?
Yeah, I played in Eurobasket, but I got married. So
that's right, you did.
That's right. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So you and Kevin Love both got married.
Yeah. Yes,
that's right. I forgot about that. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How has married life been so far?
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
You're already learning. That's the first.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So, how is your wife? She's been to Cleveland. Obviously, you guys live here during the season, right?
It's her first time, actually.
Okay.
It's her first time, so we came together. It's her first time. Yeah, it's amazing just to be here together, and obviously she's she's working. She's an actress, so that's why she's busy. But right now she's here with me.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you can count on is that Clevelanders are welcoming. It doesn't make any difference where you're from; they're welcoming. And
that's true.
You and your wife with open arms.
And you've been here long enough to probably know that by now.
Yeah, right. You know that already.
That's 100% true.
Got to ask you a question about Ricky Rubio coming back. That's got to be obviously a great feeling to see him come back, and a guy who at the time, over a year and a half ago, who got traded here, wasn't so sure about coming, but then bought in, talked to Kevin, then bought in really well, and it worked out great, and loved his time here, and so much so he came back after the injury, and he'll be ready in a few months. But that's got to be a great feeling to see a teammate of yours come back.
Oh, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, and I believe that everybody's happy to see Ricky being back, because he was a huge part of the last year's season, and everybody was so upset when he got hurt, and because, like I said, he was our leader of that second unit, and he was just doing a great job of putting everybody on the right position. So we're really happy that he's back with us.
Got to ask you, what do you think of the new uniforms?
Beautiful.
Yeah?
Beautiful. That's the only thing I can say. It's beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, what is Cedi doing now that he's married and when he's not at the basketball court? Like, what are your hobbies? Now, obviously, it's married life, but
spending a lot of time with my wife, and obviously we like to travel a lot.
Okay.
Especially during the summer, so we like to travel a lot. So that's I think that's the best thing we're doing, traveling a lot, spending a lot of time together.
Awesome, perfect.
Scott, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed our time there. Shout out to the Cavs for obviously not only organizing that event, but giving us the
access.
Couldn't think of the word. My goodness.
Sure.
The access to the players and letting us talk with them. Very cool. I've been to a lot of media days in my sports broadcasting career, but this one by far, and I'm not just saying this because it's the Cavs, but this one by far was, I think, one of my favorite ones because of the access, because of, you're sitting down and the players want to talk to you and
your Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. It wasn't at the facility in Independence, which is a great facility,
right?
But you're actually in the arena on the floor, which gave it that atmosphere. And you can kind of see the players. A lot of the players, especially the younger players, they were feeding off of that. They kind of enjoyed it. Hey, you got to do media days. Sometimes they're not, you got to do what you got to do. But players, you could say they warmed up to it over time.
And I don't know if you noticed this, the Cavs are a young team, but guys, we didn't get a chance to talk to like Darius Garland, Kevin Love, Donovan Mitchell. They were only access to the podium along with Karis LeVert, Ricky Rubio, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. Those guys were on the podium, and I got to ask some questions for Fox 8, but not in the intimate setting on the table with us. But even when you see them walking around, even some of those veterans like a Love and a Rubio that have been around, those guys still had a lot of fun walking around. I mean, a lot of times when you're at these events, you're getting pushed and pulled somewhere, which they were, and guys don't like it. They rolled with it, and these younger guys loved it. And the younger guys that we just spoke to loved talking to people and being around here. And I think it also just goes to show, Scott, of one, the culture that this team has now that Kobe Altman has built, but also because of just, how young they are, and they want to be around other guys, and they want to talk to other members of the media, and they seem to really enjoy it.
It was weird. We talked to Cedi Osman there, and we're sitting there, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, it hit me. He's been on, this is his 6th year on the team. I'm like, he has seen, we talk about Kevin Love too, but he's seen the transition. Remember when he first came to the team? That seems like it was yesterday. So we're seeing guys that are still young, but they're veterans. Yeah. And a player like him is understands that and understands what the Cavs are trying to do.
He mentioned his rookie year was with LeBron's last year's 2018. That's mind-boggling to think about that.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got married too, which is kind of neat. Yeah,
that was really cool to hear about that. He's talking about his married life and his busy summer playing the Euro FIBA tournament there overseas. I really enjoyed our conversation with Lamar Stevens and Isaac Okoro, and they were great. Cedi was fantastic. Yeah, there's a buzz with this team, Scott. You could feel that there.
There is. And I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, when was last time? Last year, we kind of saw the beginnings of it. The seeds were being planted, and now, the seeds are starting to surface coming out of that fertile field. So it should be a good time. So, yeah, John, it was fun. Hopefully we can do more media days like this, maybe with the Indians next year. We're going to be talking more football here as the year winds down too. So anyway, want to thank everybody for listening to Sabol Brothers on the Baseline podcast. This is our special one here. We are at Cavs Media Day. You can follow the podcast on Twitter, Sabol Brothers on the Baseline. You can also follow me on Twitter, Scott Sabol FOX8.
And you can follow me at John_Sabol.
Also, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you don't have access to those platforms, you can also go on Press Play Podcasts, and you can find a link to this. I'll also have it on my weather blog, Scott's World of Weather. So we will definitely have you covered. Want to thank everybody for listening to our podcast. And stay tuned for more great episodes here on the Press Play Podcast Network. Have a great day, everybody.